We are now joined by Mr. Stephen Gruzd, who is the head of African Governance and Diplomacy Program and the Russia-Africa project at the South African Institute of International Affairs. So thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Sir, if I could ask you, tell me, what are you hearing about the bilateral talks which are supposed to happen, or which were in fact supposed to happen, between Chinese President Xi Jinping and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi? Have we already closed up on that window, or is there still a possibility of that?
I think those talks will probably go ahead, but I haven't heard anything about the content of those things. I think sometimes India and China are as much collaborative as rivals, particularly in the Indian Ocean. So I think there may be some tensions, but there also seems to be good chemistry between the leaders. So I think they will be able to work out any problems that there might be in the relationship between the two countries.
You do mention a very interesting point there. While they have been rivals, there have also been a certain amount of friendship and relationship between the two leaders. Drawing from that, we did hear about the expansion of the BRICS grouping, and as was announced by the South African Sherpa to the Russian state media, that the grouping will be announced today. Who do you think will be the possible members who will be included in the group now?
So the names that have been doing the rounds in the rumor mill have been Argentina, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. There is some that are also saying that Iran might be a possible member. Those are what seem to be the most likely countries, but there's a long list of countries that were interested in joining. Apparently 23 had made formal application to join, and over 40 had expressed some kind of interest in joining BRICS. But we weren't sure whether they were going to be announced at this summit, because there was apparently some disagreement initially and reticence about admitting new members from countries like India and Brazil. But it does seem that those leaders have been convinced that an announcement of new members at the summit is prudent and will probably happen.
Would you be able to describe to us the terms on which these leaders that you just mentioned have agreed to the expansion of the grouping?
That hasn't been made public, and there's been very little talk about that. I mean, I think it would be that these countries have something to contribute to the membership of BRICS, that they would aspire to the same sort of ideals and principles that BRICS has, of a multipolar world, of a reformed UN Security Council, of a growing place and voice for the developing world in international forums, a desire to harmonize and bring together policy initiatives. So I think those are the sorts of things that would be the criteria for membership.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Gruzd, for joining us.